This is Badass Wisdom for July 10. A quote today from the Chinese philosopher Lao Tzu. A leader is best when people barely know he exists. When his work is done, his aim fulfilled, they will say, "We did it ourselves." End quote. Before my second year of college at the U.S. Air Force Academy, as with all cadets, I was expected to take flight training in glider airplanes. In the training aircraft, there are two seats in tandem, front for the student, rear for the instructor pilot, or IP. These instructor pilots were usually upper-class cadets who had hundreds of hours in glider cockpits, and some flew high-performance sailplanes. Each seat is equipped with identical hand and feet controls. One of the very first commands that a glider student learns is, "My plane," which is accompanied by the response, "Your plane." Simply put, the IP would get the plane up in the air and stabilized, then say, "Your plane," thereby instructing me to put my hands and feet on the controls, at which point I respond, "My plane." In doing so, the IP is handing control over to the student to learn basic maneuvers and, inevitably, screw things up until the IP instructs, "My plane." At this point, the student, me, would take his hand off the joystick and feet off the rudder pedals and respond, "Your plane." The IP would right the plane and hand it back with, "Your plane." Clear leader, clear follower. Clear demarcation of power, clear communication, no scolding, no wrath. Even when lives were at stake, flying in a plane with no engine. Clear, cool heads. The goal was to get the student to the point where after many flights, it was her plane from pre-flight to taxi, aero tow to release, nose-high stalls to recoveries from spiral dives, held-off landings to post-flight, all while on the student's "My plane." The culmination of this process is when the student is ready to take their first solo flight with an empty back seat. Any truly effective leadership position, company boss, parenting, captaining or coaching a team, leading a band, or general contracting the building of a house is little different. There is constant toggling between your plane and my plane. The goal of the time together is the student, employee, son or daughter finally able to solo because they were taught by someone well-accomplished, cool-headed, driven not by their own fears and anger, but by their desire to build a skilled, confident person ready for solo flight. Unfortunately, far too many parents and leaders hold on to power and control, unwilling to hand the plane over, convinced the student is incompetent and untrainable. These are amateur leaders, non-leaders really. They are people who are neither qualified nor possessed of sound mind to lead and cultivate young hearts and minds. Are you cultivating talent? Are you constantly giving power back to the student after writing the plane? Or are you scolding, mocking, and criticizing? Are you teaching in an atmosphere of respect and calm and even kindness? Or are you misusing your power? Have you done the work necessary to be a qualified IP of employees, subcontractors, kids, and other people's lives? Are you trying to grow others to be strong and able? Or are you withholding control and power for yourself? Have a kick-ass day.